Anxiety, we've all felt it at some point. That suffocating sensation where you find yourself watching the clock with a knot in your stomach. Have you ever felt this way before a presentation or a speech? Before going to work? Before having to do something new? And what about those moments when your mind anticipates future events, creating scenarios that haven't even happened yet? Anxiety paralyzes you and prevents you from presenting your best self to the world. Today, I will explain how I overcame my anxiety and said goodbye to all forms of worry by applying the principles of a life philosophy, Stoicism. In this video, I'll guide you step by step to understand how Stoic teachings can be your shield against anxiety. I will share everything I can to help you, so stay tuned until the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future teachings. What does being anxious mean? Anxiety is a physical, emotional, and mental experience. It can be mild, but if you're here today, it's probably because it's overwhelming you and feels like a curse. First and foremost, we need to understand what anxiety is. Beyond the medical definition, daily anxiety is the feeling of worry, nervousness, or dread in the face of an uncertain situation, or the mere thought of a future event. Palpitations, a feeling of suffocation, or intrusive and paralyzing thoughts are often how anxiety manifests, disrupting your peace of mind. But where does this anxiety come from? There are multiple triggers. We live in a society where pressures are everywhere, whether related to performance, image, or social success. Financial concerns, difficulties in romantic, friendly, or professional relationships, fear of failure, or simply uncertainty about the future can lead us into anxiety's grasp. And these phenomena are even more common today, where relationships are changing, the world is changing too quickly, and social media bombards us with exceptions that are presented as the norm. And these worries have repercussions. Anxiety can lead to a range of problems: concentration issues, insomnia, irritability, fatigue, loss of self-esteem, and more. It takes you away from the present moment, preventing you from fully enjoying life. It keeps you from being truly happy. How can you free yourself from this burden? The answer might be found in the teachings of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has stood the test of time and still provides relevant tools to face the challenges of our modern era. Here are the key principles of Stoicism that will help you combat anxiety in the long run. Stoicism, founded in ancient Greece, is a philosophy that teaches us how to live a life marked by virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. Although its teachings are ancient, they remain strikingly relevant for us today. I would even argue that they've never been more necessary than they are now. Here are some essential Stoic principles to combat anxiety. Focus on what you can control. One of the foundational pillars of Stoicism is the distinction between what is under our control and what isn't. In fact, most sources of anxiety stem from a desire to control the uncontrollable, others' behaviors, future events, or life's uncertainties. The Stoics remind you that the only area you truly have control over is your own mind and reactions. By accepting this reality, you can channel your energy where it will be most effective, on yourself. Live in the present. Ruminating on the past and anxious anticipation of the future are two significant thieves of our inner peace. Stoicism teaches you to anchor yourself in the present moment, for it is only here and now that you can act, feel, and live fully. By practicing this presence of the moment, you reduce the space that anxiety can occupy in your mind. The fleeting nature of life. The Stoics believe that everything in life is temporary: joys, sorrows, victories, defeats. This perspective may seem grim at first glance, but it's actually liberating. Understanding that today's worries will be tomorrow's memories allows you to embrace challenges with renewed serenity, knowing that, like everything else, they too shall pass. These principles offer timeless relevance, providing you with a compass to navigate the modern storms of anxiety. Now let's get to the specifics: how to practically integrate these Stoic teachings into your daily life to combat anxiety. Stoicism isn't just a series of maxims or philosophical thoughts to meditate upon. It's an active way of life that offers concrete methods to deal with anxiety. Whenever you feel anxiety or worry, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, remind yourself that tormenting over it is fruitless and draining. If the answer is yes, focus on the actions you can take to positively influence the situation. Too often, I hear excuses to ignore these actionable steps as they require effort. You shouldn't be among those. Practice meditation or mindfulness. These techniques will help anchor your mind in the present moment, thus reducing room for anxiety. Sure, talking about meditation might seem silly, but simple exercises like focusing on your breathing or becoming aware of physical sensations can work wonders. Personally, when I feel disconnected from the present, I focus on my left knee and try to feel only it. This act refocuses me entirely on the moment. Spend time daily contemplating nature or immersing yourself in environments that remind you of life's beauty and fragility. For me, a short 30-minute walk every morning was transformative. It can be as simple as watching the sunset, listening to birdsong, or feeling the wind on your skin. Instead of measuring success by material standards or external achievements, define it by your integrity, personal growth, and how you treat others. And I know it's easier said than done. I too felt that everyone around me was achieving more, younger folks, people like me. But that's not the reality. The reality is that, barring a few exceptions, we all go through the same doubts and trials. Reward yourself when you act with wisdom and virtue, rather than judging yourself based on outcomes sometimes beyond your control. And remember, what you see on social media is merely what people choose to show. Keep a daily journal to put your worries into perspective, reflect on your actions, and plan how you'll face future challenges. Realizing that your problems aren't insurmountable will set you free. Practicing these methods, rooted in Stoic teachings, can help you not only reduce anxiety, but also build a more fulfilling and enriching life. And I don't speak of Stoicism as an abstract theory. For me, it was a beacon, a guide, during a tumultuous period in my life. To fully grasp its impact, let me share this story with you. A few years ago, I faced a series of setbacks. The death of my mother, followed by an unexpected romantic breakup, and then the loss of my job. I was engulfed in doubt and anxiety. I found myself lost in dark anticipations. Why my mother? What if I never find work again? What if I end up alone? My mind had become a prison of negative thoughts. One day, during a conversation with a friend, he introduced me to Stoicism, lending me a book containing Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Reading these reflections struck me with their relevance. I found advice on how to handle adversities, the importance of focusing on what's within our power, and accepting life's impermanence. Inspired by these teachings, I began to apply Stoic principles to my daily life. Instead of wallowing in self-pity, I focused on what I could control: my attitude, my actions, and my responses to events. I started keeping a journal, reflecting on my worries and putting my problems in perspective. Slowly but surely, the anxiety began to fade. Thanks to Stoicism, not only did I overcome that difficult period, but I also emerged stronger, with a renewed perspective on life. If I could do it, so can you. The teachings of Stoicism remind us of a fundamental truth. Despite life's challenges and uncertainties, we possess within us the power to choose our response, our attitude, and our perspective. Anxiety, as overwhelming as it may be, can be tamed when we embrace Stoic principles of focusing on what we can control, living in the present, and accepting the ephemeral nature of our existence. By integrating these lessons into your daily life, you will gain tools to combat anxiety and also to live a richer, intentional, and fulfilling life. I hope I've been able to help, and before giving you additional reflections, I invite you to subscribe, like the video, and share your experience in the comments. For those who wish to deepen their knowledge of Stoicism, I recommend reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, The Handbook by Epictetus, and On the Tranquility of the Mind by Seneca.